How's it going, everyone? I hope you're all having a wonderful day. In today's video I'm gonna be going over the top 5 things that I love about my Canon 80D. Even though it's a 2016 5-year-old DSLR, I still love it and I still prefer to use it every single time when I'm making a YouTube video. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the user experience. Now, Canon has always been known for their easily laid out menus and their very beginner friendly system. And this camera is no exception. The 80D is a great camera to learn on. Anyone who has never picked a camera before can just start using it, get a couple of days to get used to everything where the buttons are laid out, and then you're good to go. There's not too much buttons, but it's got everything you need, from stellar image quality to 1080p 60 frames per second. Which brings me to the next thing that I love about this camera, the 1080p 60 frames per second. The video quality on this camera is fantastic, where you can shoot 1080 up to 60 frames per second, and this camera shines especially in good lighting conditions, whether you're shooting at golden hour or you're shooting with a great lighting setup inside of a studio maybe. And coming in at 7 stops of dynamic range, it isn't necessarily bad, but I'd rather shoot in golden hour or in controlled lighting conditions. The 60 frames per second is buttery smooth, it just gives you that super good slow motion look, and personally I've never found a difference between 60 frames per second and 24 frames per second in terms of video quality. Now you might be wondering, if the 60 frames per second is that good, is the battery good enough to keep you shooting 60 frames per second the whole day? And the answer is yes. Obviously, being a DSLR, the battery life on this camera is exceptional, and I've rarely had to swap out my battery in a full day of shooting, but even then I always carry 2 batteries around and I never have to worry about battery life, especially when you're shooting stills or when you're just capturing B-roll or anything. 1 battery is gonna be plenty enough. Okay, so we've talked about video, but how about the photo quality? The 24.2 megapixel sensor delivers stunning image quality, and honestly I don't think you're gonna need any other camera for picture quality. Now hear me out, a lot of people would think that their gear is something that is holding them down or bottlenecking them, and especially when it comes to photography. If you invest in composition, lighting, and good skills, this is gonna get you far better than buying a new camera. Occasionally, when I would rent out a very good camera for a professional shoot, I would still shoot with my 80D for pictures. All I have to do is just put a good lens on there, maybe a portrait lens, a 50-1.8 or the Sigma 1835, and the pictures are just crisp, sharp, and amazing. Last but not least, the 5th thing that I love about this camera is the vlogging experience. This camera has a flip-out LCD screen. It is not necessarily lightweight, but it's not too heavy either, and a lot of people use the Canon 80D for vlogging, including Casey Neistat at some point, and that says something. And personally, I think the LCD screen is bright enough and is very good when you're shooting outdoors, and for vlogging, this LCD screen that you're seeing, I'm looking at it right here, is actually pretty amazing. I've never had any issues with it, and for anyone who wants to vlog, I would say having a flip-out LCD screen is a must. All in all, I think the 80D is a great camera still. For anyone new looking to buy a camera, or someone who's still a beginner, not looking for a pro consumer camera, I would recommend the 80D definitely. So anyhow, that was it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.